Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans. Now, this is about one of the more subtle scenes from the last episode that I actually really liked, Laugh Not to Cry, where Jim is talking with David in his hospital room in regards to, hey, I need a favor in order to help Wyatt get out of jail. And basically after David gave Jim all the information that he needed in order to get a representative for Wyatt, he asked Jim, is like, and it was hard to really hear because he was mumbling through the pillow. It's like, can you go talk to the doctors? No one's telling me anything about Erica. And that's when Jim pretty much, had his head down. And I think he put his hand on like David's arm and he was like, that means she's dead, right? And yeah, she didn't make it. And that crazy bitch blew her up in the car. And I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it was funny. And basically, a lot of fans are like, wow, David didn't react the way I thought he would. I think it really comes down to the fact that this wasn't supposed to be that episode. Like the episode where David has a full reaction to what was going on with Erica finding out she had died. I feel like we're going to get more of that in the next episode, Stronger Together, because I do believe he and Jeffrey are both kind of tearing up in the hospital, when he's in his hospital bed. But I just feel like, this episode was kind of crazy in itself by the different places they were going around to. To be honest, I think they should have cut down some of the time. I feel like we spent like a good 20+ minutes at Hannah's house, where they could have reduced the time a little bit so we could have gotten more of a reaction from David. But once again, I just feel like this wasn't that episode. It wasn't supposed to be that episode. Maybe in the next episode, it will make more sense for David and Jeffrey to have a moment. Then we'll have Derek, about Erica and Veronica. Then we'll have a moment between Derek and Benny, hopefully over the whole Hannah situation. Just to give a couple examples of why the title of the episode itself is called Stronger Together. So we'll just have to wait and see. But maybe I'll title this video, Was Jim Right for Telling the Truth? I'm going to be honest here. I definitely understand why the doctors didn't want to tell Jeffrey, and Jeffrey didn't want to have Jim tell David what was going on, due to the fact that David was in a pretty banged up condition, not to mention his blood pressure and whatnot. So having him lash out and freak out would not be the best course of action right now for the sake of his health. But the fact that, Jim went to David in his hospital room where this man is literally face down with his back destroyed, asking for a favor, and David told him everything he needed to know in his condition, I felt like Jim owed it to David to tell him the truth. Not to mention, on top of that, he could definitely see that his best friend was hurting, not just physically, but emotionally. And while I can see why some people would say that he really shouldn't have told him, I don't think that Jim being, as Catherine says, the son of a bitch he is, and he's lied to people's faces before. Like, honestly, one thing that I'll never be able to forget is how the last time he saw his daughter alive was when she confronted him about him having an affair with Candace. And I think his words were, Amanda, your boyfriend Quincy is lying. And he lied to her face, and she ran up the stairs. And that was the last time Jim saw his little girl alive. And I know that probably haunts him, but that doesn't mean he hasn't lied to people's faces before, ever since then, since that moment, which he has. But I feel in that one moment where he can literally see the hurt in his friend's eyes, he couldn't deny him the truth about what happened to Erica. He didn't even have to say it. It was just by his body language and whatnot that David was able to deduce that Erica didn't make it. So in my mind, I think that Jim did the right thing. He could have easily said, no. It's like, I wasn't able to find anything out either. The doctors haven't told me anything. They said they're still looking into it. But I think he did what he had to do. I think it was better for David to know now than to know later. And it wasn't like he ran up in the room saying, hey, Erica's dead. It's just like David was pretty much still hung up on it, and he needed to hear the truth. So I do not fault Jim for David figuring out what happened. I guess that's the best way to put it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you in the next video.